Because I think anybody who starts so young in this business, a lot of it really can screw you up.
Welcome to MsMojo, and today we're looking at child stars who managed to turn their lives around after difficult upbringings.
These are things that so many people go through, and this is something that everybody can deal with and can overcome.
Lindsay Lohan. 1998 was a big year for Lindsay Lohan, as she made her mainstream breakthrough by playing twins Hal and Ann Parker in The Parent Trap. She quickly transitioned into a teenage icon before facing numerous legal issues related to drug and alcohol use. She was arrested numerous times and lost multiple roles, all while the media relentlessly analyzed her supposed downfall.
The point would be the judge would be wanting to send a message. That's why there would be a jail sentence.
Other judges.
Luckily, she managed to escape the cycle and is now on the upswing. Lohan has been returning to the screen with a number of romantic Netflix movies. She is set to reunite with Jamie Lee Curtis for Freakier Friday, and she got married to financier Bader Shammas in 2022. The two even welcomed their first child in 2023.
And I came home from work and my son was getting ready for dinner time, and I opened the door and he was watching, the Parent Trap was on.
Daniel Radcliffe.
I'm Harry Potter. So is it true?
Frankly, it's amazing that Daniel Radcliffe managed to escape Harry Potter with a firm head on his shoulders. But the immense fame and pressure that was thrust upon him did do a little bit of damage. Radcliffe has admitted throughout the years that he turned to alcohol to help battle the constant attention. Unfortunately, this drinking soon got out of hand, and he soon found himself reliant on alcohol.
How did you sort of pull yourself out of that spiral? Because that was probably the fulcrum in your life where it could have gone either way, right?
Yes, I think so.
He even told Heat that he, quote, went into work still drunk and could pinpoint numerous scenes throughout the series where he was, quote, dead behind the eyes. Luckily, Radcliffe made the decision to stop drinking and has remained sober since 2010.
And ultimately, it was my own decision. Like, I woke up one morning after a night going like, this is probably not good.
Mary-Kate Olsen.
You're on the left.
I'm on the left. Mary-Kate's on the right.
How do you know that?
Because Mary-Kate still makes that face to me.
The Olsen twins were all of 1 year old when Full House debuted in the fall of 1987. Now, that's starting them young. They turned their Full House fame into a wildly successful career and dominated much of the late 90s and early 2000s. However, Mary-Kate would ultimately battle some mental health issues in her teenage years, manifesting in the form of body dysmorphia and anorexia.
Mary-Kate Olsen is the teen idol billionaire who has bravely battled an eating disorder. But is she recovering? Well, tonight, Mary-Kate before entering the eating disorder clinic, and Mary-Kate today.
While it's never been confirmed, it's likely that her mental health issues were exacerbated, if not caused by, the constant public scrutiny and enormous expectations that were placed upon her and her sister. Olsen entered treatment in 2004 and now lives a relatively quiet and private life away from the spotlight.
And you're just like such an amazing story. You're like just so successful, and what an amazing career that y'all have had.
Jackie Kugan.
They're all together, who keep the Addams Family.
Considered one of the earliest child stars, Jackie Kugan found immense success playing the eponymous character in Charlie Chaplin's The Kid. He rode this role to unbelievable fame, and by the mid-1930s, he had accrued about $4 million, or to sound more amazing, about $90 million today. But all this money was squandered by his mother and stepfather, who spent nearly every cent on various luxuries. His tragic story resulted in the Kugan Act, a California law meant to protect the earnings of child performers and protect them from exploitation. Luckily, Kugan recovered financially and went on to have a successful adult career playing Uncle Fester in The Addams Family.
That was close. Go ahead, Fester, you get another shot.
This time, get him right in the old heart.
Janette MCC.
Let me go!
Say you're sorry.
I'm sorry.
And what are you sorry for?
For saying you're aggressive.
Watching her as Sam Puckett, you'd never know that Janette McCurdy was struggling behind the scenes. The young actress suffered from numerous health issues, including a reliance on alcohol, body dysmorphia, and bulimia. She attributes these issues partly to the pressures of fame and partly to her late mother, Deborah.
But inside I was hurting. It was painful. I was angry. I felt unsupported.
McCurdy has described her mother as being controlling and both emotionally and sexually abusive. She reportedly pressured and guilted McCurdy into acting in order to support the family, and often monitored her weight via caloric restrictions, which led to the aforementioned body issues. Luckily, McCurdy now considers herself fully recovered from eating disorders and worked through her trauma in the form of a memoir titled I'm Glad My Mom Died.
I think I earned that title through the writing of the book, but I wanted it to be something that would grab people's attention and get them to pick up the book and then hopefully learn by the end of it.
Wil Wheaton.
I have these very clear memories of saying over and over, I don't want to do this, I just want to be a kid. Let me be a kid.
This actor came to prominence in 1986 at the age of 14, playing Gordy LaChance in Stand By Me. But that wasn't exactly his choice. Wheaton told Yahoo Movies that he never wanted to be an actor, and that he was forced into the profession by his parents. He claims that as a child, he suffered, quote, incredible emotional abuse from his father and, quote, manipulation from his mother, who often enabled his father's behavior.
I have to do what mom wants, and maybe if I do what mom wants, for some reason, dad will love me.
Growing up, he developed a number of serious medical issues, including PTSD, depression, and anxiety, while also succumbing to a reliance on alcohol. Today, Wheaton has a very successful career, is estranged from his parents, has a family, and has been sober since 2016.
I don't want to be your thing. And that was how I felt for so much of my entire childhood.
Jodie Sweetin.
And when did you first become addicted to meth?
It was probably a couple years ago. I had experimented with it and soon began doing it all the time.
Between the ages of 5 and 13, Jodie Sweetin portrayed the sarcastic middle child Stephanie Tanner on Full House, earning love with catchphrases like, well, pin a rose on your nose.
I am now officially a teenager. Well, pin a rose on your nose.
And it was almost immediately after the show ended that Sweetin turned to alcohol. She started drinking at 14, and alcohol soon turned into illegal substances. Some of her concerned Full House castmates staged an intervention, but it would be years before Sweetin got the help that she needed. She finally checked herself into a rehab facility and became sober in 2008 at the age of 26. Minus a brief relapse, she has been clean ever since, and she has obtained a degree to work as a drug and alcohol counselor.
I worked in treatment for a while before coming back to Fuller House. I worked in treatment for like 5 or 6 years.
Mara Wilson.
Other movies. She's now revealing, though, the ups and downs of childhood stardom in her new book, Where Am I Now?
By the age of 10, little Mara Wilson had already worked with the likes of Robin Williams, Richard Attenborough, and Danny DeVito, but she soon grew disillusioned with the lifestyle. A disillusionment that was partly caused by the death of her mother. Susie Wilson was diagnosed with breast cancer in 1995 and died shortly after. It was around this time that Wilson lost her passion for acting and began suffering from numerous ailments, including obsessive-compulsive disorder, anxiety, and depression.
I've been dealing with it for a very long time, for most of my life. I was an anxious kid, and I'm still kind of an anxious adult.
Wilson ultimately decided to leave Hollywood behind and retired in 2000 at the age of 13. She has mostly remained private ever since, instead focusing on writing and doing charity work with nonprofits aimed at improving mental health.
You don't have to be depressed. You know, you don't have to suffer with it. You can get help. You can reach out.
Macaulay Culkin.
Oh God, that is the most 90s photo I've ever seen. That's me and Doogie and Urkel and the Fresh Prince.
The 1990s belonged to Macaulay Culkin, but this earned the ire of his father Kit, whom Culkin claims was abusive and fiercely jealous of his son's success. His parents also entered into a bitter custody battle when Culkin was in his teens, often fighting over his substantial finances.
At what age did you see your money?
I didn't see it until I turned 18. You had I call it the slip of paper meeting, where they kind of pretty much put a number on a piece of paper and like slide it across the table.
The young Culkin was forced to take his own parents to court to block access to his trust fund, and the instability in his personal life led to burnout in his professional career. He retired in 1994, and by the 2000s, he was mostly reclusive and using prescription drugs, fueling speculation that he was struggling with addiction. Luckily, everything turned out well for Culkin. He's acting again and has 2 children with his partner Brenda Song.
Did you have any say in whether or not you worked when you were young?
Not really, no.
Before we continue, be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos. You have the option to be notified for occasional videos or all of them. If you're on your phone, make sure you go into your settings and switch on notifications. Drew Barrymore.
One of the sentences that really stood out to me in your book is when you talked about your mom, you said, 0 protection, 0 consistency.
Yeah. The lovely Drew Barrymore is perhaps the poster child for success stories. Her recovery almost the thing of Hollywood legend. Barrymore was born into a famous family, but her father John was unstable, and her parents divorced when she was young, leading to a turbulent home life. By the age of 9, Barrymore was already drinking, and alcohol soon turned into illegal substances. By the time she was 14, she had already done 2 stints in rehab.
And I raised my girls so much more traditionally and quietly and very protectively, and it's such an antithesis to my upbringing.
Her personal struggles were highly publicized, her career hit a low point, and she became notorious for her troubled bad girl image. But with a good head on her shoulders, Barrymore reinvented herself in the mid-90s, launching a comeback for the ages.
In the later years, and in the younger years, like, they're not gonna have my life, you know? Not going to Studio 54 at 7 years old will probably make them a lot more normal than I was.
Can you think of any other examples? Let us know in the comments.
You pull back the curtain on child stardom. It is not a pretty picture.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from MsMojo and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.